Hey guys, welcome back. It's your boy Vijalarazzi, and today we are getting into my Beginner's Guide to Cryptocurrency series, part number 4, How to Spot Reversals. So if you haven't watched my other videos, I highly recommend that you go back and watch those so that you're caught up on the series overall. We don't want any slackers here. No, just kidding. But why is it important to spot reversals? Number 1, you can find cheap entries before a major rally. Number 2, it's a good place to take profits or positions. And number 3, risk to reward is greatest during the reversal. So I remember when I was first getting into trading, I didn't necessarily know what the best risk to reward ratio was. I didn't know when to take an entry. I didn't know when to exit a market. So learning how to spot a reversal is going to help you with all 3 of those, because you're going to be able to get in when the prices are cheap, and you're going to be able to get out before the prices dumps too far to where you lose all of your profits. So what you're going to learn today is, number 1, what is a reversal? Number 2, how to spot a reversal. And number 3, how to apply reversals to your trading plan. And here is an example of a reversal pattern. And this was actually Bitcoin. I happened to get into Bitcoin when it was around $450, right when it first broke out of its retracement. So if you're wondering what exactly is a reversal is when the market pressure from one side or the other becomes too great and then the opposition takes over. So in this case, we had a bull market and then we had the rally, and then prices retraced back down, and then the selling pressure became too little and the buy pressure overtook it to where the market reversed and started going back on the upside. And this is what we're going to be covering today. So I'm going to actually transition to my screen so we can start drawing on some charts and get right into it. Now, it's important to understand where a reversal comes from. And the market reverses when the pressure from the opposition becomes too great. So this can happen in both bullish and bearish markets. What you want to look for is strong support. Remember that for the price to actually reverse, there has to be some sort of demand that needs to be met. So if we come in here and take a look at Ethereum, well, we see the price rallies, and then it has this top, and then the retrace. Now, we see the price reverses out of this bottom right here. Now, let's go see if we can find out why it did that. So we come in here. Now, remember, support is a strong tool to use when finding a reversal, because a lot of the times it'll happen right at that support. So if we come in here and draw, we have strong support right here. This was the last high that it made before it rallied once more. So we come in here, we have this strong support zone. Now, another good indicator to use is actually trend lines, because trend lines are going to show you when the breakout actually happened. Because when the price can break out of a descending trend line, that shows that there is a lot of bullish players coming back into the market. Will price always reverse out of the break of a trend line? No. Sometimes trend lines don't manage to be very accurate, and then the price just ends up falling through anyways. However, this is why whenever you see a reversal, that's why you want to exercise good risk to reward and not take too much of a position out, and make sure you're using stop losses so you don't get wrecked if it doesn't go your way. So if we come here, we can see we have strong support down here, and then we have this strong resistance line that was made as Ethereum retraces. So once we get to this bottom, what you're going to want to see for a reversal is you want to have matching volume to go along with that. In this case, once price landed on support, we had strong buy volume coming in right here. We have these 2 big breakout volume candles that come in, and then what does price do? It breaks out of this descending resistance. So right here, this would have been a strong indication that, hey, maybe this trend is reversing and we're going to go back and see some more upside. So if we come in here, remember in my last video I covered chart patterns. Do you notice any patterns forming that I talked about in my video? What I see, we have a left shoulder, a head, and then we have a right shoulder here. Now, patterns aren't the best thing to base your analysis on. you usually want to have more indicators than just that. So that's why it's always good and important to combine multiple indicators before making your trade. And you also want to have a plan ready before you ever even enter the trade in the first place. So what we have strong support that's met. Okay. We see a lower low, and then this lowest low down here, and then we start to see this strong buy volume coming. Price then breaks out of descending resistance and then lands on support. This also just happens to complete an inverse head and shoulder reversal pattern, signaling that this bearish trend is going to reverse. What happens shortly after this? Price rallies one more time, and it doesn't break all-time highs. Keep in mind that even though the short-term trend has reversed, it doesn't mean that the overall big picture trend is going to keep going up. That's why it's important to understand which trend you're trading. Because if we look here, this trend has already been broken. This was broken long ago. Okay? See, we had the break over in this area. And so, for that big picture trend, for this trend to keep continuing, we would have had to see price hold support over in here and then go. However, we had a very clear break. Now, this next rally is more of a relief rally, and this allows all of the people to exit the market, because there's still a lot of people buying and trying to FOMO the price up because it did just pump this much. And so that's why we see this great big rally, this secondary rally come in, and then this leaves other people to start shorting the market, which is why it actually goes down again. So this was an example of a reversal. Let's see if we can use the same techniques to find another one. Okay, so here we have the big picture market cycle of Ethereum. So where would be our strong support zones? Okay. Now, remember, you want to have volume coming in, and then you also want to see the trend, the downward trend being broken. So in this case, we have a short-term downward trend right there. We'll label this red. Now, price tops out, and then it falls. Now, remember, when you're looking for a reversal, you want to be buying on strong support, because that shows that there's high demand in that area. If there's previously been an area in which lots of buyers have came into the market and pushed prices up, you can expect to see at least a bounce or something, maybe even a rally in that same area, which is why the best probabilities are going to be set buying strong support. Or if you're looking to sell the market and short sell it, areas of strong resistance where prices have sold off from that area. Now if we come in here, remember, we want to see a breakout of this descending resistance. And so what do we get right here? Well, we get that breakout. Now keep in mind, this is an example of one that shows strong bullish volume coming in before the breakout ever started. Now, this would have been a sign that was telling you, hey, the bulls are starting to come back in the market. You're starting to see strong buyers coming in as this price goes lower and lower and ventures closer to support. And so here we have price bottom. It makes one more lower low. However, we're starting to see a pickup in bullish volume coming in. You're starting to see these green volume candles coming in. And then what happens? Price breaks out of that. Now, right here, this would have been a strong sign saying, okay, the short-term bearish trend has now broken, and we're now moving into a bigger picture bullish trend. So what happens shortly after here? Price rallies. Keep in mind, this short-term descending resistance doesn't mean that once this is broken, the entire trend is going to reverse. There still has to be a few more there's always a few more trend lines that you have to watch out for. It's not one trend line means everything for the market. But here, we're starting to see strong bullish implications. We have this first breakout of this descending resistance, okay? But now you have the second battle. Price has to come in here and retest this secondary trend line it's been in for 6 months. So here We have this secondary, this leg up out of the breakout, and now price goes to retest this previous descending resistance. And what happens? We get strong bull volume coming in here, and then price breaks out and lands on support. So right here, this is where you would have wanted to start taking buying actions, because this shows that the whole trend is now reversing due to the fact that this entire market cycle has retraced, found support, and it's broken out of all descending resistance that there is left. And what happens after that? Price rallies, and we go to all-time highs. It's important to spot these trends because you would be getting into the market when there's the least amount of risk involved. This is when people are scared and they're selling all of their coins, and this is why you can pick them up at cheap prices. You want to be trading with the whales. You don't want to be stuck with the average guy in the market that doesn't know how to trade, because you're going to be losing out. You have to learn to accumulate when nobody wants it. So in this case, we'll take a look at one more example. This is Ethereum to date. Okay. Now, this was a reversal that happened. Let's see if we can figure out why. So remember, you want to find strong support. Where does this price go and land? Let's go market over here. Right there. So there was strong support in this area. Can you figure why? Well, we can see this area has been met multiple different times. It's basically the previous all-time high, which is always a good target for when you're trading these market cycles. Is usually it'll retrace to the all-time high of the previous market cycle, and then that's when a lot of demand comes back into the market. So we have this strong support. This is why we have this steep sell-off, and the prices immediately shoot back out of it, because that's showing that the bubble has popped. The sellers have died out, and this was their last big rally before the buyers came back in. And then you have this strong bull rally and this run that lasts up to here. And so what you want to be doing is you want to be buying in areas that have high demand. We remember that here on the previous market cycle is a really strong support for this new all-time high. And that's why we see such a big price jump once price has came down and hit that support zone. And so if we come in here, remember that we want to see a break from descending resistance. So we have a point here, point there, and a point here. And then we start to see a little pickup in bull volume. Not a lot, but it's enough. We start to see early signs here, and then price actually breaks out right here. So price breaks out, and then it falls. A lot of the times what will happen in crypto is after descending resistance have been broken, it'll come and retest support. And that's why it's important to set some low buy orders, or if you're going to buy up here, set stop losses. So if it does turn around and go into retest all the way back down here at support, you're not going to get wrecked in your position. So we have this breakout, and then price comes down to touch support and the bottom of this trend line. And then what happens? Price rallies again. Now, in here, we don't see too many reversal patterns. This isn't very symmetrical to be a head and shoulder formation, considering how there isn't too many pullbacks in here. However, trading patterns are just one form of indicator to use. They're not perfect all by themselves, which is why you want to combine different strategies when it comes to spotting these reversals. In this case, trend lines are a very valid tool. So we have the breakout of the trend line, price lands on strong support. Now keep in mind, there's other areas of support here. Let's go mark the all-time high. When you're accumulating in these cheap prices will go lower than you expect a lot of the time, and they also will go higher than you expect. Set a plan and stick to it. Whenever you come down to these lows, you understand that there's only so much the bears can do to push the market down. And so this is why you'd want to, instead of buying all of your position at once, you want to be starting to take little positions and ladder all the way down as price continues to go lower and lower and lower. This is going to help you get the best risk to reward setups. So if it does go lower, you're not getting wrecked on your position, and you're going to be in profit as soon as it starts to go up. So this was two different areas of strong support. Me personally, I would have started to take buying actions around this yellow line and maybe even a little bit higher after the breakout. And then we see price comes in, and then we have this final test of support. Usually prices will stick to all-time high. However, in this case, we went a little bit lower, but that's fine. It's what's to expect inside of crypto. And then we have another rally. So this is just one way of finding these reversal patterns. Remember that you want to have good volume when you're trading them. They have to have a couple signs that indicate that the trend is actually going to reverse. Remember that trend lines are very good. There's actually some indicators you can use, momentum oscillators such as like the RSI and the MACD. However, I will cover that in a different video to kind of give you guys a little bit better of an idea. But thank you for watching. If you liked this video, always remember to leave some comments and constructive criticism so that I can get better and get better at teaching you guys. If you like this video, please leave a like. Remember to comment and subscribe to my channel for more content. I will be uploading more videos like this in the future, so stay tuned for that. Peace out.